Gentlemen, welcome back to another video. My name is Striker.
My name is Luba.
And our channel is about dating in Ukraine and giving you guys some advice to navigate all the way through it. Luba's been in the industry for 11 or 12 years or something. I've used a lot of these companies, these matchmaking romance companies out there, so I sort of learned things out the hard way. So if you want to know more about that, definitely subscribe to our channel.
And visit our website www.heartrocket.com. And also we have a free Telegram community where we share just everyday life in Ukraine, our experience, not that much of a dating stuff, but property, lifestyle, food, girls, guys, and everything. So please, down below this video will be description, in description down below to this video will be a link. Please click on that, but before that install the Telegram app. So what is the topic?
Topic today is, are you a generous man?
Are you?
I like to think so.
Okay.
But have a look at this wonderful place that we found today. Just randomly, we just kind of walked down some steps and we came here. It's like a local beach.
And it's called Laguna. It's just incredible, like the rocks around. Maybe we will, at the end of the video, just take the camera and show around. Yeah, it's beautiful. So we are at the moment in Odessa, and we highly recommend you to bring your lady here.
Yeah, like perfect spot for
you
it.
maybe heard something about Odessa, whatever. So if you have a lady and you want to spend a good time, just bring her to Odessa.
And if you are a generous man.
Generous man.
But the reason that we want to talk about this, okay, so there in a lot of these, if you are looking at using any dating agencies or any of these, online, I wouldn't say online services, but letter writing sites, which you should never do. Follow our channel and look at some other videos about what actually goes on there. You'll see in the description of the lady's profile that she wants a kind, caring, generous man. And very often, quite often, guys look at this and they say, generous? No way. I'm like, I am not going to be buying her iPhones, lavish holidays, vacations, fancy shoes and all that sort of stuff. Because that's how we, as Westerners, we interpret that, right? But it's actually lost in translation.
Yes, lost in translation big time, because when the lady comes to the agency, usually not most of the time, but even if she speaks English, I think that she still put your profile in Russian. And so when the manager put the profile on place, she read it all and she say nobody would care. I would put a little bit of information, and this is kind of mistake. And I try to work out about that with the agencies, because at the moment, I understand that the only thing that the guy has in front of him, it's your pictures and the profile. So guys take a lot of pay a lot of attention at her profile. And so when the ladies say good sense of humor, generous, I mean, it's a different topic and probably we should do that, but I honestly, if you use a matchmaker, I would really recommend you not pay so much attention on that, but ask the matchmaker about this lady more, because the profile is not the full representation of the lady. Guys' profiles usually present much more than the ladies, unfortunately. But today we talk about particular one word that you can meet there almost in every single profile. So, generous man. Generous man, when the ladies put there, it's the man who is just you've seen.
Let me sort of break it down so it's easier to understand. Okay, so when they say a generous man, it doesn't mean that they're going to be expecting all these gifts, right? It just means that they don't want a man who is cheap. There is a man that can spoil a woman if he has to, and he doesn't have to spoil her lavishly, but it's just a man that is not cheap, because when a man is cheap, he's not demonstrating the ability to be able to provide and to be a provisioning man for her and for her family. And that's what it comes down to. And they all write it in there because for them it interprets something slightly different. Well, not even slightly different, very different, I guess, probably is the best way to say that.
The worst thing that you can do, honestly, with a lady, it's to talk about money. It is one thing that when you're in a relationship and you kind of go on vacation, or you're buying some stuff to your house and you say what do you think about this TV or that TV, and you decided that maybe this TV is a little bit more expensive than this, but now you will buy this one, for example. But when you just start dating, I think that this is just not very discussable topic. You shouldn't discuss that, because for Ukrainian ladies, I think that they kind of even, I can use the word hate listening and talking about money, because there's also always extremes.
Yeah.
These are the guys that overreact on Ukrainian prices, and we talked about that before, when they say, oh wow, everything is so cheap. And it's kind of first of all, you put yourself in the trap. because like one day you will say that it is cheap, and another something will not be cheap, and
you'll say, I can't believe that's so expensive, everything is so cheap.
Yeah, and so, but people in Ukraine do not really like to discuss money, because like for you it may be cheap, for her it would not be cheap, or like you would say that it is expensive and she would think that, you know, it's a normal price for that because she lives here. And remember, we always, when we give you some examples, we talk about real women, not like scammers, not like the ladies like that you will date with a 30-20 years age gap when we're looking only for that. We talk about real people. So a lot of Westerners, they like to say like, oh, I make so much money, I do this, I buy this. And for the ladies, like, this information is a little bit pointless, you know, because if you don't do anything toward her, then it's kind of like, are you bullshitting? Like, are you lying about that? Because like, if you talking about money, then do something, then, you know, show her that you are that rich or you are that like flashy and stuff. If you're not planning to do that, just don't discuss it, and just show your generosity by some little things, but from your heart.
Yeah. One thing here too, like, let's say that she has put something in the profile that she has written, and like we say, don't take what's written in those profiles like too seriously. Like, don't look at it and go, oh, you know, she likes to read, I don't like to read. Like, honestly, there has to be something written in that profile, and people are only ever going to write the best things about themselves. They're never going to write, you know, sometimes I'm grumpy in the morning, sometimes they're just not going to do that, okay? But
and all the profiles, you're right, like they say, like, I like dancing,
they're
I
all
like
the
reading,
same.
yeah,
They're all
kind of
exactly
the same.
They're all the
but
same.
when you talk to the person, and like sometimes people have such a strange hobbies that they think probably would not put it in a profile, or the agency, like, they don't know how to say that, you know, somebody is making some, you know, tools or cakes. Like, if she would put like, I like to make like a healthy cakes without sugar, you would like, she would not put it like, I mean, on a date she will
How
tell
can you make cakes without sugar? Cakes are sugar, aren't they?
No.
Like 90%.
No.
So anyway, I'll just say this here. I'll just say, you know, and if she did put that in the profile, if she specifically said to the agency owner, make sure you put in there, I want a man who is generous. This can sometimes come from a contrast of something else. Maybe she was dating a man, maybe in Ukraine, and she didn't, and this guy was just super cheap. He would never take her out for dinner. He would always make her not buy the cheapest wine or something like that. And so she specifically doesn't want that again. Now, a lot of guys that come over to Ukraine, like myself included, we want a woman that is going to be feminine, is going to treat a man, you know, in a masculine role in that relationship. So we specifically state that. We specifically look for that. There's a reason for that. Is because we had the contrast of that. We had the opposite of that, and we don't want that now. So we know what we don't want. And I've made videos before about talking, instead of talking about what you want, it's what you don't want. And sometimes it comes from experiences in life, from past relationships, especially in the West. So she may be looking for that, right? She may be looking for a man who is not cheap. Now, if you are a man who is cheap, and you see it around in comment, especially in the comments on YouTube, like especially where guys say, you know, like, just take a woman like only for coffee. There are certain places, you know, we guide guys through that. Like, when is it time to go on something that's a little bit more expensive of a date? When is it not? Which is never a first date. So we guide guys through all that sort of stuff. But when it comes to if you are just wanting to be super cheap, and in return you want to get a woman that's super hot, super feminine, that's super everything that you've wanted, it's going to be difficult to find, right? Because if a woman knows her value as a woman, being feminine, she looks good, she's been looking after herself her entire life, preparing for a man that's going to come along that is generous, or is going to take care of her, that can be a high provisioning man to be having a relationship and a family with, and then she comes across a man who is cheap, who just wants to do it on the cheap, you're not going to have a shit show. That's kind of like the best way to say that, right? You know, there's an exchange of value for these two things. Now, we never ever say that, you know, take a woman for a fancy dinner, ever, never, on the first date.
And especially, you know, like, it's not like we do not really, like, except like scam restaurants, we do not really have like that like expensive places. Like, honestly, all the places are, especially for the Westerners, are more than affordable. And like, I don't think that the price for the dinner, like $50-$70, is like something that you think it's rip-off, you know. And of course, like, we talk about, I don't remember if we did this video about like taking lady for like that we're not really going out that much for food. Like on the West, and so here, like, when you go to the restaurant, it's like a big event, you know, it's a big thing. So just like the best advice I would give, like, do not pay attention a lot in these like specific words, because these words, it's like it's so easy to use. It's like, 10 words that agency would put, because every lady, yes, she's looking for that. Don't pay so much attention at that. And second is that not talk about money. That's basically like the best. Don't discuss like how much it costs, how much you spent the last year, because like you may think like, who would discuss that? Trust me, guys discuss it. And especially on the West, I think it's a thing that when you know exactly how much money you make per hour, you know how much you get per week, you know how much you get per year. Here people do not really like get it, because most of the jobs that people do, they got some fixed salary and then they got something in an envelope, and it's like nobody know even how much you will get. Depends on like either how much you sell stuff or like your bonuses or whatever. So do not discuss that. It's the safe way to not ruin anything and don't have like bad aftertaste, because as soon as the guy like discuss a lot about what he bought, what he owned, the lady really she really think that he lies. It's the same as you told me like if the guy say I'm not here for sex, right? And it's like it's a lie. Like every human being.
No, not there. There's more to what she just said than just there. That sounds quite bad, but that's a video for another day anyway.
Yeah, but anyway, like it's don't try to stay. Don't try to be kind of like. Stay in the box with your, I don't know how to say that. Try to wide your vision, not like think that, oh, she say that she wants the man with a good sense of humor and like I'm not joking every other minute, then we not match. So this honestly, like, do not be so strict about some things that you read in the profile. That is what
that's pretty much it. And like Luba said before, like and I've talked about this like the last 2 years in other videos, you don't need to sit in front of her, and if you feel like you're sitting in front of her and you need to discuss how much money you've got, or you need to show her by taking her to the fanciest restaurant, like from the start, like she's not moving into your frame, you're moving into, or you're trying to pull her into yours, or you're trying to trick her, or convince her is probably a better word, to come into your frame. This is wrong. This is never going to work. Not only is it it's not going to work, but it's not what she wants. Okay, it's not what she wants.
Just be yourself. Just be yourself and do not pretend. And we have a video called like "Do Not Fake It." So it's basically about that, right? Like just be yourself.
It's even a little bit one back from that, where it's like you actually hold information back. Yeah. Because I can tell you from my own experience, like if you don't, I'm pretty quiet about anything that I have or that I've done in my life or anything like that. And if they just kind of find it out kind of accidentally, it's much more effective, and they're like, holy shit, like really, like this, like you did this or you
like
did
that.
Picture. What picture?
Portrait that you draw.
Oh, I drew a portrait of someone, and Luba didn't realize that I was an extremely good artist.
Yes, he is. It was very good. It was impressive. So,
but that's what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not telling people that,
he would tell me like, oh, like I'm such a good artist, and he would never like show me, and he would say, when I was like 10 years ago, I drew something. I would say, okay, like what should I do with this information? Where would I put like? But then like when it accidentally happened, and like I just saw it, like where it is from, it's like I just did it. For me, it was like wow moment, because it was impressive.
Because she thinks she figured it out, she thinks that like if she sees, like if the woman sees something just accidentally, she's like, what's that? And you say, oh, that's like something major that I achieved, I won a Grammy award or something. And she's like, wow, like this curiosity builds. Anyway, that's like a whole other topic for another day, but basically, like, the whole are you a generous man thing, like you should be a generous man in the Ukrainian woman's mind, what her terminology is for that, and just leave your one behind, because I know that when we say generous, it's like I'll just buy her a car for a bit, like it's not that. Okay?
But if you like, the best thing to talk about it what you did, like it's the best thing what to discuss in a date. It's, for example, if you fix the car, like you bought like some old car and then you make it like super nice, you colored it, like these ladies adore when they see that the guy is really like fixing something or making something, or like you did it handmade, or maybe you have some hobby that you're making something, then that like you can show, you can discuss, and the lady will be impressed because she will see the result. If you just discuss like money or something like that, it just like it doesn't have any proof,
any substance.
So guys, we hope that you like this video. Again, always we're all over the place, sorry about that, but if you like this video, please put your likes, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.